welcome to another episode of Check That Pulse Podcast, a podcast about life, love, and relationships. Today we are talking about love yet again, because today is February the 29th, and it's the last day of the month, so we will be talking about love. What's love got to do with it? I'm your host, Jen, and these are my co-hosts,
Christina,
Queen,
and Marjorie.
and we are Check That Pulse. Check your pulse. Check your pulse. I check yours. Anyway, thank you for taking time out your day to come and see what we're talking about. But we done talked about love all month, so someone asked the question, what's love got to do with it? And my answer to that is everything. Absolutely everything. So I'm going to let these beautiful ladies give their take on what love got to do with it. Anybody want to go first?
go ahead.
Okay. Well, love has definitely been keeping me going. Especially, you know, when stuff comes up in life that you don't really feel like going through. You just got that love to fall back on. Like, I'm going to push through because I love you, or, you know, whatever it is. Love is just the extra strength for me to keep going.
Okay. Love for me is, like you said, it's everything. You know, you give love, you get love. You might not get the love that you give, but you know, eventually, you know, it'll make its way back around to you. When because you know, it's times in our lives where we feel like, or I'll speak for myself. There have been times in my life where I felt like kind of unloved, you know, like kind of felt like it really wasn't anybody in my corner, you know, so I'm just out here like, it's just me, you know, it's just me and my kids, you know, and we finna ride this thing out, you know. But when I took a step back, you know, and thought about it, like, girl, stop playing. Like, who are you playing with? Like, you know, you might not talk to, you know, these people on a daily basis, but they still love. That don't mean they don't love you. You know,
Right.
I ain't calling them on a daily basis. That don't mean I don't love them. So, you know, just realizing that, you know, we have so many people that do love us and that do have love for us.
Absolutely.
And then number one, God has love for us. That will never change. So, you know, just knowing that in the back of our minds, like, you can never be alone. You can never say nobody loves you, nobody cares about you, because that's one that's going to always, no matter what. And then a parent, too, because a parent, no matter how mad they are at you, no matter what you do, they're still going to love you at the end of the day. They might not like you, but they're going to love you.
Right.
Even with your kids, you know, they might be mad. My son probably mad at me right now because he on punishment, but I don't care. You know, I still love him, and I know he still loves me.
Miss Queen Anne, you got anything to add?
well, yes, love is everything, you know, and the Father, He is love, and He wants everybody, you know, to feel love and have that love that they can show forth for other people, as well as having it for Him, number one. Somebody gave me a card one time, and they said, guess what? God's not the only one that loves you. And that made me feel real good, you know. Not that I didn't know that, but just enough for somebody to put that in words. You know. And it was at a time that I needed it, you know. And so, as Christina was stating, all of the above, we all need that.
Yes.
We have to have it.
Yeah.
You know, there's no way to live in this world without it.
Right.
I don't know, because it's joy. You're in a happy place when you feel love. You know,
It's
and
contagious.
it's contagious. You know, because I love, you know, being able to love on somebody.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like a little bit like that when you see friends and family that you haven't seen in a long time, and then you start embracing them, and you want to know everything at that time about them, and you're just showing so much of love for them, and that you was able to lay eyes on them again, you know, because sometimes people come across, you know, your mind and stuff. So yes, love has everything to do with it, and everything that we do in life. Even the things that we don't like, but a lot of that is growing stuff, you know, and but we don't just throw that away. We can figure out a way how to love in it, love through it, love with it, and all of that.
Exactly. Well, my take on what's love got to do with it. First of all, it depends on what love you're talking about. Well, actually, it covers all love. Like Miss Christina said, God is love. So we want to start there first. And it was His love for us that He made the sacrifice that He made. So if He can do it, what's our problem? And the love you have for your siblings, like this is my sister, so the love I have for her is a different love that I have for her because this is my daughter. And yet again, a different love I have for her because she is my niece. So there's all types of love. So we're not just talking about a love that you have for your spouse or a boyfriend or a girlfriend. But we're going to take it a little bit deeper on that point. When it comes to the love that you have for your spouse, now that's just another level. Because there's a way to love and say, well, I love my mom, I love my dad, I love my siblings, my family, but I'm in love with God. I'm in love with my spouse. That's a different type of love. You can be in love with your spouse, but not like your spouse, like she mentioned. You could be in love with your boyfriend or girlfriend, but not like them. So that's different types of love. As far as a love of a spouse, I'm going to tell you, it ain't easy. It ain't easy to always wake up and be able to express the love that you have, especially if you have a disagreement or if you have, because y'all not going to always agree. If you have a quote-unquote fight or whatever, you still got to choose to love that person. You still have to wake up and choose them every single day. Choose love. And love overcomes all that. The argument, the disagreements, the fussing and the fighting. When you really look at it, what it boils down to, I love this person and I choose to overlook whatever the issue is, because you realize it ain't that big of a deal. At the end of the day, you still love this person. So that comes with, first of all, you got to get to know who you married, knowing who you in a relationship with. That comes with practice. Like, and what I mean by that, living with them for a while. If you just meeting these people and you starting to date them, or you start to live, you jump up and marry them without really knowing them, it's going to take time for them to get to know you and you to get to know them. And sometimes they may not be ready. They may think that they're ready for love, ready to be in a relationship, and they're not necessarily ready. But they won't find that out until they go through it. So, again, to try to find that, what's the word I'm looking for? Unconditional love, and to be able to see a person day in and day out and say, and know for a surety that you love this person. And I'm not talking about just having butterflies in your stomach or heart beating fast. I ain't talking about lust. I'm talk about love.
Right.
Because, you know, anybody can do lust. You can see, I can lust after a pocketbook. I can lust after a pair of shoes.
Right.
But to have that true meaning of what love really is, it takes commitment. It takes choosing them every single day, like I said, and loving them beyond their issues or mistakes. Because you're going to have things that you're going to go through. It ain't no love perfect. Only love that was perfect was God himself.
Right.
So you have to learn that person, learn to love them. Because, again, you may think you be ready for that, and then when you get in that situation, you realize you really wasn't ready. Once you marry that person, and then, you know, you 3 weeks in or 3 months in, I tell you how to know if you really love a person. Make them mad.
Yeah.
Then you'll know. You'll see then. You'll see that real person.
Oh, yeah.
So try that, and then you can tell from there. And, you know, but if it's something that you want, because a lot of people, they don't know nothing about that type of love. And you know what? Sometimes you can go through life and never, ever have that love, that real love, genuine love for a person. Sometimes, you know, you don't get that chance to do that.
Right.
But once you do, you know what it feels like. You yearn for it. And then sometimes that person don't return that love.
Right.
So you're giving your all to this person and they're not giving it back. So what is that? Now, in that case, I can understand a person asking, what's love got to do with it? Well, maybe that person is not for you. But don't give up.
Right.
Don't throw your whole life away because this person didn't love you back.
Right.
Try and try again, because there's somebody for everybody. The one that's for you will find you, or you will find them. So don't give up on love. And that's one of the reasons why I chose the subject of love, because of Valentine's, and it's February. And I am in love. So, and I know everybody should experience love at least once in their lifetime.
Yeah.
So that
We
was,
know, like, all the love that we give.
Yes,
You know, it ain't nothing like receiving that love back.
Exactly.
That'd be like the best
Right.
feeling in the world. Like, oh my God, like,
yes.
especially like I be thinking about like when my kids was little, how like I would come home from work and they would run to the door, open arms. I'm talking about arms open
Been
wide,
waiting
like
all day.
Mama, oh my God, where you been all day? Like I couldn't wait till you got here. Like it was just like the best feeling in the world. Like oh my God, these little people love me. Like, so like feeling that love back, it ain't no greater feeling than that. Like it's just oh my goodness, it's amazing. Like
Yes. You have kids as well, so what that do for you?
I feel a little bad because, like, my kids be acting dramatic over the simplest stuff. I'm like, I just saw you like 30 minutes ago. But
they say you after a short period of time. Oh,
yep. But I am a giver, so like I might not express my love as much as like physical touch, but they ask me for something, I'm probably gonna get it. So it's with them braces. Well, I might, you know, if something happens, you know. But
Well, there's many ways, as I was saying, of showing love. Taking care of somebody that's sick, that's showing love. I mean, that's multiple ways.
Right.
We just talked about that last week.
Exactly. So, you know, just whatever you do, don't give up. Like if you was call yourself in love with somebody, but first, before I say that, you got to make sure it's just not lust. And you got to make sure it's not just attraction that you feeling for somebody. We're talking about real love.
Right.
And when you find that, oh my God, you're going to know. You're going to know. You're going to know it's not just a feeling that you had temporarily, because it ain't going nowhere. You're going to be sad when you can't see that person and you can't hear that person's voice. Like, oh my God, it's just a different level. So
you're gonna hold like a great value towards that love.
yes.
Like when you get the
And you're
true
gonna
love.
protect it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. And when you find that type of love, you ain't finna let nobody come and mess with it either. You gonna do whatever it takes to hold on to that love. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Fight for your love, girl.
Exactly.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
So that was my take on that. Y'all know I be going off on a tangent.
But I do like something that you did say. You said, you know, it depends on what you have love for. Because you can love them purses, you know, you can love them shoes, them tennis shoes, all you want, but that stuff ain't gonna love you back.
No.
Like,
it's
ain't
not.
no love and none of that stuff. Like, all this physical and materialistic stuff, like, that's not love. Like, I like jewelry, you know, but I ain't finna darn sell my soul for no jewelry.
Right.
Like, I want some love. I want something that's gonna love me back. My jewelry is not gonna love me back. Like, you gotta make sure, you know, when you putting that love out there, you know,
It's gonna be returned.
right, exactly.
Because love can bring you joy. It can bring you empathy, compassion, a sense of belonging.
Absolutely.
Like it compasses all of that.
And it can bring you a little pain too.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, it ain't all good.
definitely
It
can.
ain't all good. But again, try and try again.
Right.
It ain't always easy.
Right.
You're gonna have some challenges, trust
Oh
me.
yeah.
But it's worth it. It's worth overcoming those challenges. So, yes. Gotta communicate. You got to talk it out, work it out.
Yeah.
That's what it's all
Speaking
about.
of communicating, you gotta let your people know you love them. You know,
Yes.
I'm like, I know my mama love me, but it ain't nothing like hearing my mama say, I love you, Christina.
I love you.
And she tells me, you know, and I tell my kids, sometimes they tell me first, and I be like, I love you too.
Don't be scared to say
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Because you have to, you know, voice it, you know, because some people growed up and their parents didn't know how to express their love.
Absolutely.
And so they never heard that,
Right.
you know, growing up, you know. And so the good part about it is if you never heard it when you were growing up, perhaps you might have been grown by the time you started hearing it, you know. But if you didn't hear it when you was growing up, but you wanted to be able to make sure that you could tell your children that, you know, that's a start. It's never too late to start loving,
Right.
you know, and it's never too late to teach love. So if you raising your children, of course, loving them and squeezing and hugging on them, you go through that because the kids are going to do that. What I love about the children is you were saying that about them arguing with each other. They will fight, argue with each other, and a few minutes later, they loving on each other.
Right.
They will be outside with their friends or cousins or whoever, and they just hitting on each other because they angry with each other. The neighbors next door, they fighting them kids, and you be like, just let them deal with that because they're gonna show you what they're gonna do, you know, and then they'll be back friends again, hugging on each other and loving on each other. And you know, love is such a powerful thing, you know, and so we should never try to separate people when you see them having a great time together because love is taught.
That's true.
It is taught.
That's true.
And it's how you teach it when your children come up. You know,
Yeah.
love sees no colors. You know, it is just there between human beings.
Right.
You know, and it's up to us to make sure that we are showcasing love around us because we don't know who needs that love.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
just saying hi to somebody, smiling at somebody, or if they fail or something failed and you picking it up and you handing it to them, you know, just being nice and just showing the people who you are on the inside, you know, and it can go a long way.
It absolutely can. It absolutely can. I totally agree.
And even sometimes, like you mentioned about sometimes when you're growing up and you didn't hear that from your parents often enough to make you like be able to just openly or easily express it. I believe that in those days, our parents just assumed that we knew.
They did.
So in their eyes, we had a roof over our head, we had clothes on our back, we had food in our bellies. So to them, that was them showing us love, which it was.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as a child, you want to hear the words.
Right.
You want those hugs. But they was only teaching, they couldn't give what they didn't have. So it starts from that generation to that generation, and somebody have to break that cycle.
Yes.
Nowadays, it's easier to express it by saying it and showing it. But it's not all about just telling somebody you love them.
Right.
You have to show them.
Right.
And then that person will know that without a shadow of a doubt that you love them.
Your actions are always gonna speak
actions
louder
gonna,
than words.
yes ma'am, louder, whole lot louder than you just saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. We say that all day long.
Right.
Till the cows come home.
Yeah.
But when you show it, now that takes it to another level.
Right.
And that's a level that when that person feels that or witness that, then they know that, yeah, they love me.
See, I kind of have a different opinion because I feel like I love differently from how y'all describing it. Like, I don't know. I feel most appreciated and loved when somebody just does something, like goes out their way to do something very kind for me, or, well, yeah, like acts of kindness and stuff like that. And then, like, even with my kids, I feel like I have to love them. I love them all, but I have to show it differently because all my kids are different. So it's like I have to like study all of them.
You said you have to do what? You have to
learn.
No, you said I have to show them differently.
Yeah.
So if you showing them, that's your actions.
Yeah.
Showing them.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, so like me when I was younger and still now, sometimes I don't want that embrace from everybody. It's only like certain people.
Yeah. Like, don't hug me.
Yeah, so if somebody feels like it's showing you that they feel uncomfortable, you have to show love like a different way to make them feel comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. That's a good one because you have, your kids have different personalities, you know, and mine do too, you know, so I get that totally.
Yeah. Like some of my kids, our love is like making each other laugh, telling jokes. One of them like to be cuddled all the time, a little too much. Another one, she like gifts, like non-stop, always wants something, you know. And then another one, she just want to be there, like even if we ain't talking about nothing, she just want to be there.
Yeah, all children do have their different personalities. One of my children went off to the military. She's still in the military. So I didn't get to see her like that. And so the girls, I didn't hear it from my son, but I did from the other daughters of mine. And they felt like I loved her more than I loved them. Which was the crazy to me because I'm like, you guys are here with me. I can see y'all anytime I want to see y'all.
I just saw you like 30 years.
Right. You know, and so now I'm like, you know, I have to, you know, call her on the phone and thank God for the iPhone,
Right.
you know, and I'm able to just pick it up now and FaceTime and stuff. But I didn't have no iPhone during this particular time, and I don't think she did either, because we was definitely hooked on those Androids. I still like the Android though, but they did. They felt that way, and I began to tell them, you know, how that I had to give her a different kind of attention. Didn't mean that I loved her more than I loved them, but it had to be different with her because
she needed it.
She needed it. She was away from her family all the time, you know, and so I only got to see her when I could, and so she was missing her family just like we was missing her. And so whenever I would say when it was time for her to go back, are you getting ready to go back home? She'd say, "That's not my home." You right, Jen. Yeah, because to her it felt like, you know, like I didn't want her to be a part of my home where she lived at, you know. So she always like, "It's not my home." But anyways, I just wanted to, you know, throw that in there, you know. But kids do think different things, so I just had to really work that. And as grown as they are, they still feel that way. So, you know, they have kids of their own, so I don't have to really just explain that to them now, because they know when you have children, each one of them is different, and you got to deal with them different, because some of your children may be stronger, and some of them may be weaker, you know. But the thing about that love is, you know, love conquers all. It really does, and we got to be careful in the way we handle love.
Yes,
Totally agree.
I can kind of speak on that a little bit about how you love your children differently, because my firstborn, he needed a different type of love versus my other two. My youngest, she more independent, strong. You know, she do her own thing, handle her business. She got that from me. She get it from her mama. So I don't have to worry about her, but I make sure I express how I feel. My middle son, he got that same work mentality and go-getter, and he get things done. So I don't have to worry about him. And I make sure I let him know too. I love you, son. But their oldest, they always say he your favorite, he your favorite. No, he just needed a different type of attention. And because he needed a different type of attention, I also let him know I love him too. But I have to let him go off and do him, because, you know, it's just that way. I ain't even gonna go into all that. But he know I love him as well. And they mine. I birthed them. So if you mess with one of them, you messing with me. And that's not gonna fly. So with that being said, exactly. And I'm quick to check a post. I'm gonna check that attitude too. So you know what I'm saying? But again, that's another way of showing your love. So, and it don't have to be the same. It don't, you know, everybody's different. There's nobody built exactly 100% the same. So it's supposed to be different. Supposed. Y'all country, y'all have to look on me sometimes. But with that being said, I guess we're gonna get to the gens unless y'all got anything else.
I just wanted to inject this. Make sure, you know, when you're talking to your children, family members, partners, make sure that you guys spend that time, you know, telling each other that you love each other. You know, don't just assume they know it.
Right.
You know, because they can be sitting back somewhere having some different types of thoughts that's going on, and light thoughts bring on light thoughts, and before you know it, they'll become isolated.
Right.
You know, and we don't want to have that.
Right.
Family members, loved ones, to become isolated when it just could be just a simple, you know, a rub on the shoulder, pat on the back, you know, embracing them with a hug, you know, or just saying, I love you, you know, I want you to know that.
Right.
And sometimes you have to look, you know, your people's in their eye, and let them see eye to eye you saying that I love you. And here's another one. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. You know? Nothing you can do about it.
I like that one because I went through some stuff before where I didn't love myself at all. So like when I use my mom for an example, when I was younger, she would always try to like embrace me and stuff, and I would push her away, and I couldn't receive it from her because I couldn't receive it from myself. So that quote right there, that'll get other people through that's like trying to get through to somebody, but it seems like you talk to a brick wall. It'll break one day. It's not nothing that you're doing. I would say do like what my mom did for me. She probably prayed I don't know how many times, but it took a while. Like I was well off a teenager, but it finally broke to the point where I got tired of being so angry, and I wanted to feel love. So
you have to just keep on showing that love. Keep on giving love. Don't. You know, like she said, eventually they will break, and they will realize everybody needs love. I don't care how tough you is. I don't care, you know, how isolated you is. Everybody needs love. So.
And like Marjorie was saying, like how you have to love on your kids differently. I agree with that, and just like in a relationship, like learning your spouse is like love language. You know what I'm saying? So like if you don't know like your spouse's love language, how can you really, you know, express that love to where they can understand it? You know, if you don't know their love language. But that's the same with like kids and family members. Like you said, you don't really care for hugs. So I know that I got to show you love in a different kind of way than hugging you.
No,
you know, like
it's certain people like y'all cool, like, you know, it's people that's like, I don't know. If I get a certain vibe or something, I don't want you to touch me at all. I can't really describe it. I don't know. So if I step back, just
you step back too.
Well, the one love, I think you might have touched on it, but let's not forget the love we have for ourselves. Because you can't love nobody else if you ain't got no love for yourself.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
let's do that. Then we can express it and give it out. But just first got to be in here.
Yes.
And with that, we have a dear Jen. Dear Jen, I've listened to you all month talking about love. Yes, you have. I don't believe it really exists. It has been my experience that people only love themselves or what you can do for them. So yeah, I want to know what's love got to do with it. I think we already covered that.
We definitely did, but you're definitely right. You know, there's a lot of people out here that do only love you for what you can do for them. So that's absolutely true. That's a fact, but that doesn't apply to everybody. That doesn't apply to all. So there is some real love out there, and you are getting some real love, whether you realize where it's coming from or not. There's somebody, we already know the number one, there's the love that's never going to leave you, never forsake you. You're never going to have to doubt the loyalty or anything like that, and that's God. So that's the love. You definitely, to say what's love got to do with it when it comes to him, you're crazy, But I definitely understand it when it comes to human beings, because we're all human. We done dealt with people before, that we probably didn't love. We probably said I love you, but really didn't love that person. I know I have. I'm not gonna lie. Like I done said I love you before and didn't really love that person. So
you find out sometimes that you love somebody.
Exactly.
And as time go on,
Right.
that feeling just disappears. Where does it go? In the thin air, like you realize you really don't love suspicious.
Right. And when you don't know the definition of love, how can you say you love somebody if you don't even know what love is?
Yes.
So everybody just have agape love. We just love everybody.
Right.
But, and sometimes when you're around people that don't show love, then you show love. Because like we said before, it's contagious, and once people see you start doing things, and be genuine when you do it. Don't just do it just to have a form of love. Really be real genuine, because you can feel it when it's real. And you can feel it when it's fake, And so we want to say to you guys, keep loving on yourself, and love people the way you want to be loved.
Right.
And then when you love people the way you want to be loved, then take your love up a notch, another notch, Because when we look at all the things that God did when He created this world, and all the things that's in it, it's just so much, that we could just fall in love with His creation, and I'm one of them. So, yeah, I have to fall in love with myself. So you have to fall in love with yourself. And so if I fall in love with myself, I know what love feels like.
Absolutely. We're gonna do one more. Dear Jen. Dear Jen, I am in a relationship and I'm starting to notice things about my partner that makes me feel uncomfortable. That being said, I do love him very much. However, I'm not sure where to begin processing all these feelings I have for him right now. What can I do if I started my relationship hoping for the best, and now I'm feeling like his best is not what I consider being best for me? I didn't have any standards in the start because I've always wanted to be open-minded. But now I feel so scared that I may miss out on experiencing something greater, whether that may be alone or with someone who likes more of the same stuff I truly desire. I know this is a lot to unpack with a little details, but I need help. Help! Thanks. Well, that is a lot to unpack. But when it comes to getting in a relationship, it has been my experience that you have to learn that person to find out if that person is really for you. Sometimes we'll jump out there thinking that we're ready, and we find out that we're not. But if you find out that you're not ready, you have to have that hard conversation with that person and just act accordingly. If you're not, you feel like you stuck your head out there too soon and you just realizing that, no, this ain't me. Make your exit. Keep it moving. Right. Don't just spend year after year after year after year knowing that your heart is not in it.
Right.
That's a waste of your time and their time. I don't know. Make a move.
Yeah, because, I feel like, some people do say up front, like what they're looking for. So that kind of gauges you to where, whether or not, okay, maybe we might have a little bit of potential, but people might voice, what they're looking for, what their expectations are, but then, once you get down that road, their expectations either done changed or it was either, a cover-up for something else, they lied about their expectations or whatever the case may be. But, you got to know within yourself, like if it start taking a path that you don't want to take, then, exit left, stage left,
and communicate with that person. Like, just let them know, because you don't have to end on bad terms, and
Right.
and maybe it's not the end. You know, just express to that person how you feel. You know, like, I thought we was on the same page, but we might not be. You know, and maybe that might spark something in them. They're like, okay, well, you know, maybe I should go this way or whatever. You know, or maybe we should not be together. Whatever the case may be, but you gotta make sure you keep that open communication with your partner.
Right.
Definitely gotta do that.
Don't spend years when you can make something short if that's what you need to be. Because the most part about it, the longer you spend on it, the more you adapt to what you are uncomfortable with.
Right.
Then you get comfortable and get set and don't want to make that change, but you are happy. Why waste your life being unhappy? Like, just it's okay to disagree. You tried.
Right.
Go somewhere and try with somebody else, or be by yourself.
Right.
Like, you know, just don't waste your time. You only get one life.
Right.
Yeah, that part.
So
That part.
don't carry that baggage into the next one. You know, start fresh.
Yeah.
But good luck.
Absolutely.
Everybody need love. And with that, thank you for joining us again for another episode of Check That Pulse podcast. You can join us, watch our videos on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button, please, at Check That Pulse Pod, or check us out on TikTok and Check That Pulse, or Facebook. Write a DGN letter. If you got a story you want to tell, and check that post pod at gmail.com, or you can text 866-311-2251.
Yo, it's a family affair.